I believe that we have the most powerful opportunity in the world right now. And so when we tell this story and when we do trainings, I want it to be really effective. But I will tell you right off the bat that you're going to get out of this training and you'll get out of this business what you put into it. So if you're here and you're here just kind of messing around, maybe you thought, well, we'll go there and it'll be kind of entertaining for an hour, or I'll hear some new stuff. No, I want you to dig in. I want you to fight for this because it's going to take that. Has anybody realized yet that this is hard? Has anybody realized that? It's hard, isn't it? It's not always fun. It's not always rainbows and roses. I mean, this is tough. This is business, and it's business of the worst kind, really. It's all people all the time. And it's, when they ask engineers, they did a study, and they went to all the top engineering firms in the United States of America, and they went to the people that in the human resources, the recruiters, the people that go to find engineers coming out of college, and said, what's the number one most important thing that you look for? And they said, personality. Engineers. You would think, what are you, crazy? Because they can't. If you can't work together, if you can't get along with people, it's hard to be effective in anything. So we're taking the most up and down roller coaster ride of your life when it comes to people business. And the number one person that you got to worry about most? You. Isn't that the truth? So 1994, I go to a Wednesday night meeting in Leon County Civic Center in Tallahassee, Florida. And my buddy Leon Fowler had called me a day before. He knew how broke I was. And he said, Andy, man, Walter, who was his stepdad and an attorney down in Fort Myers, said, Walter's got us a job interview. I said, great, I'm in. What do I do? And he goes, he said, we got to wear a suit and tie. I said, oh, of course. I got to borrow one, but I'll find one, yeah. And so I went and met with Kevin Long, who played in the NFL for years. I had this big suit on because he was bigger than I was, and he was a big guy. And so I'm wearing this big suit and a tie tied wrong. And on 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night, we go to this job interview. As somebody are here, and we're walking into this thing, and I see all these people walking dressed up like we are, walking in the parking lot. I'm like, what kind of job interview is it? Are these people? So I walk up to the lady. She had beehive hairdo and stuff. She's sitting at the table, and I said, hi, ma'am, we're here for the job interview. And she goes, oh, that's great. Welcome. Yes, sign in right here. Great. She gave me a blue sticker, not a red. So I was wondering right away, is that good or bad? Like, am I already losing this deal before I even get it? And I said, what do we do now? She said, well, I'm going to sit you down. I'm going to go seat you. Oh, great, let's go. She goes, you're $1 million seat person. And I go, $1 million? Is that the salary on this thing? Like, that's sweet. Go all the way to the front, puts it right in the front. I kept saying to her, I don't want to sit right in the front. She goes, yes, you do. I go, no, I don't. Yes, you do. No, you have to sit here. This is the $1 million. Okay, I sat down. Leon, my buddy, is this country guy. He's very successful now, but country boy. He played football at Florida State. He's always dipping, Charles Copenhagen. So I'm making him spit that out. It's all in his teeth. We're showing up looking horrible. Sit down, and we're sitting there watching everybody, and everybody's like you guys, all excited and hugging and stuff. And he goes, man, you think they all think they got the job already or something? Why are they all so happy? You don't see that at job interviews, right? So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what. I said, what's this job about? He goes, Walter wouldn't tell me. Nothing. He wouldn't tell me. I go, okay. Well, let's hope it's good. And so out walks this guy, right? And he says, I'm here to do one thing, introduce the speaker. And he starts hopping up and down. He goes, everybody hop up and down. And everybody's hopping. We're like, what the heck is this all about? Okay, everybody clap, everybody clap. Everybody's clapping and hooping and hollering and stuff. And I'm a naturally kind of get into the moment kind of guy. So I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And out walks this guy, and he says, Marshall Douglas is here to speak, right? And some of you might know who that is. And I said, what is going on, right? I'm looking at Leon. He's just not getting into it. He's like, no, this isn't good. This isn't good. So Marshall Douglas starts speaking, and he did an hour and 50 minutes of the best speech I've ever heard in my life. I was so moved. I was crying. I was laughing. I was hugging a lady at one point. I don't remember what it was about. I was like, oh, that's so great. I'm hugging her. He's like, do you want this? I'm like, yes, I want it. And Leon's still sitting there going, man, something's not right. And so he gets up, and in the last 10 minutes, he goes, bring the board up. And they bring a whiteboard out, little tiny. I mean, there were at least 800 people in this thing. And they bring a whiteboard out this big. And he gets up and he goes, you buy this stuff, you buy that stuff. He did a bunch of circles, just filled that little white thing up with circles. That's all I saw, and I didn't see any numbers, nothing else. And I remember I was like, what I'm missing? I'm trying to take notes. What? I missed it. I hope there's not a test on this right away or something. I'm like, what does that mean? And then he walks off. And I mean, I'm like, I'll see you later tomorrow. I love you. Yes, goodbye. And I turn and I go, what do you think, man? He goes, whoa, I don't know. And I go, let's go find the lady with the hair. So we ran over, we found the lady with the hair, and I said, ma'am, did we get the job? She goes, yes, you did, honey. I said, great, when do we start? She goes, go get with the person that invited you, and you need to go find out how you can start. And I go, sweet. I go, Leon, we got to go get to Walter right now. Now, 5.5 hours south is where Fort Myers is from us. I go, let's go, man. Let's get in the car. Let's go. It's about 11 o'clock almost right now. I go, let's get in the car right now and go down. He goes, yeah, I want the job too, but I still don't know what it is, Andy. I'm like, so what? Just go. So the whole way down, we're drinking coffee. I'm saying, man, can you imagine us on a boat and a plane like he was talking about? He had 2 Mercedes. He was talking about cars for every day of the week. Did you see the Rolex on his wrist? That was so sweet. I'm talking the whole way down. Leon's just driving, not saying a word. We get all, which is very normal in our relationship. Get all the way down to Fort Myers, and we're there early, right? So I'm like, what time's Walter show up? And he goes, he's usually there by 7. I go, let's just go wait for him. So we're in the parking lot, and I'm out walking. I mean, this was before I had cell phone, and I'm out just walking like, man, I don't know what this is. And Leon's in there sleeping in the car, and I'm like, as soon as he gets here, I can't wait to start. I hope I get this thing, you know. And then comes Walter, and I jump. I'm like, Walter, what's up, buddy? I go, hey, we drove down from last night. It was the most incredible meeting I've ever seen. I said, I want to start. I want to get started. He goes, come on in. Now, Walter is at a pace. Like, if I'm here, Walter's here on a natural level. That's him excited, right? And I'm Walter, let's go, man. How do I start this, man? Please give me the job. And Leon's like, what is the job, right? And he goes, well, you saw it last night. And I go, sweet, I can do that. I said, I swear I can do that. Give me a shot. So that's it. I'm flying her around to all the meetings. She's... Anyway, I said, Walter, I can do that, man. I want to do that. I can speak like I promise you I can. He goes, here's what you're going to do, man. He goes, this is a serious business. And I don't just sponsor anybody in this. I don't just hire anybody. He goes, you go back and you boys go back. Drive on back and come back in 1 week if you're serious. I'm like, what? And he goes, come back in 1 week. And Leon goes, I knew it. We didn't get it. And I go, what? How did we? Walter, please, man, give me a shot. I just need a shot in life, right? I'm tired of being broke. I don't want to be like, he goes, no, he said, y'all drive back. Come back in 1 week. If you're serious 1 week later, he goes, you're serious now, you'll be serious in 1 week. Come back in a week. Somebody in his training of the Amway business had told him you should only sponsor people that are really serious and really test them before you put them in a really bad decision. But anyway, we go back, and I'm depressed the whole way back. Leon's trying to cheer me up. I'm like, I can't believe we didn't get that. I can't believe I got so excited. This is the worst day of my life. I'm a loser. I knew it. And so we go back, and we sit there. I go through the weekend, and my wife keeps telling me that my coach had tried to call me. I played basketball for this guy a couple years before. I hadn't talked to him in 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever it was. And he kept calling me. And so on Sunday, Leon answers the phone and says, hello, because he's sitting next to me. We're both eating cereal. I remember it like it was yesterday. You'll remember your moment too when you actually get your financial freedom. You'll remember that first moment. I'm sitting on this leather couch that somebody had given us with paint on it because I was broke, right? And I live with my wife, but she was at one of her 2 or 3 jobs, and we barely made our $325 rent every month. It was horrible. It was horrible. And so I'm sitting there watching the TV because the one thing I would not do without was cable TV, you know? So we're watching on a Sunday morning. We were up at the crack of noon, and I'm eating cereal, cheap cereal. And Leon's sitting next to me, and I'm depressed, and he's telling me, we'll go play golf. We'll go sneak on somewhere and play golf. That's what we did. And so I was eating cereal all upset, and the phone rings. And I meant to tell him, don't answer. You know, do you go to your friend's house and answer the phone? No, most people don't, right? But I was thinking, I was trying to avoid Coach's call, but the phone rang, and he grabs it, and he goes, hello? And he goes, yeah, hang on, he's right here. And I'm like, oh, man, please, man, because nobody else called me other than bill collectors. So I go, hello? Hey, Coach, how you doing, man? He goes, hey, man, how would you? And he goes on to explain Excel. He basically says this: how would you like to get paid every time somebody makes a phone call? You can recruit other people to help you get customers, but you'll get paid on all these customers. That's how he entered, that was his recruiting. Don't do that as a training, but that's what he did. Because I was looking, right, I said, I just saw something like this. I just saw something like it last week. I go, so explain it to me again, hung up the phone, called him back, hung up the phone, called back. Finally, I said to him, because now I felt like I got to take charge. I said, if you want me to do this with you, Coach, you got to come up and sign me up right now. And I'm going to find somebody. I remember saying to him, I'm going to find somebody else in Tallahassee to sign me up. So he says, all right, let me check. And he does a sick day, drives up and signs me up in Excel. He gets in my house, my 1-bedroom place. And when he pulled up, remember, I had Leon there because Leon had been with, I'd gone to his, now he's coming to mine, right? Real quick, I said, sit down, shut up, don't talk because he's going to think you're an idiot, so just sit there. Here he comes. Coach comes walking in. Coach, how you doing? I'm trying to be real professional. I sit him. He puts his board up right in front of the TV because we sat in the couch. I got my pen and paper, and he proceeds to do a 2-hour and some odd minute presentation on Excel. Now, my experience is in any presentation should not take longer than a half hour. I don't care what you're talking about. This is 2 hours in. At one point, he was actually telling us, well, the deregulation occurred because a mom and pop place in Oklahoma started suing this. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I know Leon's lost, right? Matter of fact, all I hear from him is dipping, dip. You know how they rednecks buy big cups and they put like stuff in it and they spit into it? And I said, I knew at times when he was excited because he'd dip faster. I like it. And I told him, I said, no matter what happens, because I was trying to play hard to get now because Walter had really screwed up my mind, right? So I said, no matter what happens, don't act excited for anything, okay? And he goes, no problem. And I knew it wasn't a problem. I go, okay, good. So he's sitting there dipping, and it got so boring that I was like, what? I was off in La La Land, thinking I was back in college or something. I was like, all right, I was dreaming about something. So then I was like, I wonder if we could, and I scooted to the edge of the couch all the way over, stretched, put my hand, grabbed the remote control, turned it on and muted it at the same time. So Leon saw that happen. He scooted to the other side of the couch. And Coach, being a presenter like people are when they get in network marketing, had absolutely he didn't care what we were doing. He was just happy to be presenting to somebody. He had the stage, and he was talking, and he was orating about the network marketing and about money. And we're both watching TV around the back of him like this, around the thing. And I'm flipping through the channels, and Leon would double. If he wanted me to go back, I'd go back. All right, and I'd go back. And we're watching, and we're just watching and watching. And finally, I heard Coach out of somewhere, like it was just wah, 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 now the money. And I was like, oh, ding. Turned it off, sat in the middle, turned back my pen, and I go ahead. And he started explaining how we got paid, which you know the comp plan because we actually created Momentus' comp plan with that, but we just fixed a couple things, which I'll talk about in a little while. So I got so excited when I heard that I could make $100 when I signed somebody up who got a customer and their website. That's basically, I'm putting it in Momentus terms. That was it for me. Because the only thing I cared about, my big vision for starting in network marketing, was I had a $1,800 Discover card. And it was maxed in the first couple weeks. We paid bills with it. My wife didn't understand the whole credit thing. I came home one time, I had 2 new shirts laid out, and I go, baby, where'd you have the money for this? She goes, I didn't need money, I had the card. I was like, oh boy, okay, so, never mind, I'll explain it to you later. And Leon, being the genius he had, had informed me that if I paid minimums on that card, it would take me 37 years to pay it off. So I felt like that was the biggest debt you could possibly have. That's how stupid I was and how immature I was about this whole thing. So I was like, man, if I could get in Excel and put 3 people in a month, I could make $300 extra a month, and then in 6 months, I could pay that card off, and because it was extra money. It was extra money. So I was like, wow, did I get excited about. That's what I got excited about and put me into network marketing. Now, as he was going through his presentation, which I didn't listen to, I heard one thing where he had said the company had done $31 million in 1990. Now, this is April 22nd, 1994. I remember that day like it was yesterday. And it was 1993, they did $31 million in sales. What we didn't know was during 1994, that company was going to go from $31 million to $155 million. And then it was going to go in 1995 from $150 million to $500 plus million. And then in 1996, it would go from $500 million to $1.4 billion. So Captain Entrepreneur here and his buddy had just knocked it out of the park on timing. So we got wrapped up in the timing of that company, didn't know what we were doing. I was going around doing presentations, telling people it was in Houston, Texas. It was based out of Dallas. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know anything about it. I remember somebody said, did you ever verify this company's even here? Because everybody came to me and said, it's a pyramid, one of those things. Matter of fact, when I signed up, I didn't have the money to get started. So I wrote 2 checks for it, gave them to Coach, and I said, I'm in, because it was a training position too. It's $700 some odd for a broke college guy. That was everything. Leon signed up because he didn't have a choice, because I told him to do it, and he was doing it, and he had taken me to another meeting, and so it just so happened I got Leon under me at that first one. I was very excited to make 100. Matter of fact, I remember saying to him, so Coach, if Leon gets in today, if nothing else, he gets his own customer, then one other customer, and then I get $100. He goes, yeah, and I go, great, let's do it. I didn't care about him at all making money. I cared. I was making $100 on him. I was like, buddy, I'm making $100 and you're signing up, right? And he goes, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Great. So he takes the box and goes, learns everything, and I just start signing people up because I want to make those 3. But I didn't have money to cover the checks. So I called my dad and said, Pops, I need to borrow some money. I'm going to open my own business. He goes, well, son, what are you going to do? And he goes, well, it's always been my dream to be able to help you start your own business. How much do you need? And I said, $720. And he goes, what kind of business is that? So I said, well, it's this phone thing. Dad, you'd be great at it. If you sign up and do this, I can get paid $100 on you. And that would be great for me. And I hope you do well in it, but I don't really care about that. I just want to do it well for me. So do you want to get going? He goes, oh, it's one of those pyramid things. And I said, okay, I didn't know what that was. If it's good or bad or different. I go, what does that mean? He goes, well, those are illegal. I said, what? Illegal? And I go, what do you mean illegal? And he goes, yeah, you top people make all the money, bottom people don't. But you can make some money if you get in early. And so I was so upset that after being to that thing on that Wednesday night, and then now signing up in this thing, and by that time I had already called a couple other buddies who had gotten in. So now I had a little group starting. And now my dad tells me it's illegal. And so I was like, well, I don't have anything else. So I go, well, Dad, if it is, and it may be, I really don't know. I said, at least I'm going to make some damn money before I go to jail. I'm not kidding. That's what I told him. Exact quote. And my dad, being the steward of the family that he is, said, well, that's okay. That's a good idea. All right, well, I'll give you the money to start. Loan me the money to get started. I started going crazy. The idea, all of a sudden I had in my hand some vehicle I can make money with. 11 people in my first 24 hours signed up personal. 11 people, I went and got them. I was calling people up and going, bring me your checkbook and come on, bring somebody with you. Don't come to my house unless you have somebody with you. And they're like, what are we doing? I go, bring your checkbook, bring a friend, hang up. And they would come over to my house and go, what are we doing? I go, sign up right here. Sign up this right here, sign this right here. You're in this with me. I'll make sure you do well if you decide to show up again. Okay, bye. Get lost. Go. Next, bring your friend. I called up my buddy in Colorado. I said, hey man, do you love me? Am I your friend? Yeah, you're my best friend. I go, great. Then send me a check and give me your information because I'm going to sign this thing for you. You got to get started. Boom. And I did that. That's how I recruited my first 11 people. I went nuts. And I was like king of the idiots, so all of them did it. And I was shocked that people were doing it. And I was like, this is money, man. This is great. So I called Coach back and I said, Coach, I got all these people after, this was 2 days later, I said, I got all these people. And he goes, yeah, but you need customers or you're not going to get promoted. I said, what do you mean customers? And he's like, you need to go get, at the time it was 20 customers in Excel just to get your first promotion. And I was like, well, all right, okay, so I'll call Leon and find out what that means. Leon, I got to get customers. He goes, you're in big trouble. I go, why? And he goes, do you realize we're a half a penny more than AT&T? I said, first of all, I didn't know we had half a penny in the United States of America. Second of all, what does that mean? And he goes, people are going to have to spend more to have this long distance. I go, they are? And he goes, yeah. And I go, but I need to make money. And he goes, yeah. He goes, but you're going to have to. I go, forget it. I'm going to do this, Leon, with or without. He goes, no, I'm going to do it. I'm just saying we're going to have a hard time with it. I go, I don't care. Hard is doing normal stuff. I can't make any money at this. I'm going to do. So I said, okay, let me do this. I call up Aunt Sally. Aunt Sally, my brother's here. He knows Aunt Sally is like the most creative person in our family. I don't know why I called her first, to be honest with you. But I called Aunt Sally. I said, Aunt Sally, do you love me? Yeah, great. Okay, so I need you to become my long distance customer. Who do you have now? She told me AT&T or whoever it was, and that's who it was back in the day, right? Ma Bell. And I said, okay. I go, well, all right, so I need you to become my customer. She said, Andy, my whole life I've had them. Why would I switch now? And can you save me money? I was like, I don't think so. I'm not really for sure. And she's like, well, honey, I'm not going to switch. Thank you very much. I'm like, okay, all right. It's Sally, bye. I hung up. I remember thinking, all right, well, this stinks. I didn't enjoy this at all. Phone rings. God's gentle push for me. Phone rings. Coach Pop. Andy, I just saw all these people there. Yeah, man. He goes, you know that if you went out and got your 20 customers, that you know what your check could be next month? And he started telling me this. And I was like, I need 20 customers for that? And he goes, yeah. I go, clicked up. And Sally, this is the most important thing I've ever asked you to do. I need you to become my customer because if not, I'm pretty sure I'm going to fail in life. And I have no other way to make any money whatsoever. And all you have to do is just do what you've already done, but it's going to have a different name on this. And if you don't do it, Aunt Sally, you will never hear my voice again. No joke. You know what Aunt Sally said? I had no idea it was that important to you, Andy. Of course I'll do it for you. Boom, great. Matter of fact, she said the most beautiful words I'd ever heard at that time. I'll call your Aunt Pat in Denver. We talk all the time, and I'll get her to do it as well. Sweet. Aunt Sally helped me gather some customers. I used that approach. Nobody trained it. I just was so desperate. Anybody asked, I said, this is between you and I, buddy. You know, Mom, this is between you and I. Let's go. You're my customer. I don't care what it costs. You're my customer. And I did that because I needed the check that was going to come if I did it. That was really why. That was my motivation. I did it. I got this check. Man, I was so happy. I was the king dog with that check. I got a check with a comma in it. My buddies had never seen anything like that. I didn't even cash it for a long time. After about a week, everybody goes, did you cash that? Or is that a copy? And I go, oh, no, man, I need to cash this right now. I was showing everybody the real check. was like, I went and cashed it. And all of a sudden I was like, woo, I'm done, right? This is awesome. All of a sudden the next 30 days I was golfing and stuff because I'd heard about residual income. I'm like, I'm done. I don't have to keep doing this. They told me, build a group and you get paid residual. So I was like, I can't wait till my next check. I didn't get it, didn't come. I was like, where's that check, man? Where's that check called the company? Where's my check? And they're like, well, you got your check. I said, no, but what's the next check? What's happening? And they said, well, nobody's doing anything in your group. You got this group, but nobody's doing anything. Why aren't they doing anything? So I started calling them back. I go, you lazy bum, what are you doing? Go to work. What are you waiting for? Do you realize I didn't get a check because of you? So, I love her. I wish that I could make this up. I'm actually telling you the truth. This is how bad it was. And I started work. So I was trying anything and everything I could. So I called up my college roommate. And I said, Keb Burley, his name's Kenneth Edward Burley. We called him Keb. His dad's name was Pick. His sister's name was Kitten. And his mom's name was Shar. It sounds like a bunch of puppies. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I called up Keb and said, Keb, man, I'm coming down. I'm going to show you a business. Now, he'd been my college roommate my sophomore year. This was a guy that we had spent our entire year like just the best of friends. You know, we were talking about raising our families together, talking about, man, being best men in each other's wedding and stuff. I drive down and I see him and it's about a 4-hour drive. And as I drove down there, is everything all right? Cool. Just making sure. I know, I'm just waiting to make sure so you can hear. Yeah, I told you I don't make friends very well. If I drive 4 hours, I get down there and I pull in with Keb and I say, Keb, here we go, buddy. And I explain the business to him. Now, this is my college roommate, somebody that I for sure top of the list in the business. Of course, all I have to do is tell him to sign up. He's going to get in. And he's sitting across from me at this table. And as I'm sitting there, I'm looking at him. His dad's sitting to the right. Leon's to my right because all he was my driver at this point, basically. Keb's sitting in the middle. And I said, Keb, here's what we do. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to make $100 on you when you get in and I get this. But you can do it on your friends too as we go around and talk to them. And this horrible recruiting. And I go, what do you think? And he goes, can't do it. Why? And he slides this purple folder over. I go, what are you doing, man? What is this? And he goes, this is Frontier Communications just offered me a job this week for $24,000 a year plus benefits. And he goes, Andy, do you have benefits? And I go, I don't know what those are. I don't have any clue what benefits are. And he goes, dental, doctor, stuff like that. And I go, I don't know if we do or not, to be honest with you. And he goes, and I said, they're guaranteeing you $24,000? He goes, yeah. And I go, so that's not good. I go, mine's better than that, and make $100 every time you sign somebody up. And he goes, no, I got to take this, Andy. It's a guaranteed thing. At that point, what I was really thinking, and I told Leon when we left, I wish I had had a purple folder. I wish I had had a purple folder. Somebody was offering me $24,000 in benefits. I literally was jealous of Keb having a secure income because I was so broke. I was like, man, he's got a purple folder. I wish I had a purple folder. I felt like saying, can you get me a job with them? I'll just quit this one now and I'll go with you, right? I'd rather have 24 grand guaranteed, but I didn't have a purple folder. So I said, you're an idiot for not doing that. And Pick, you know that your son's never gonna make a lot of money unless he owns his own business, and that's what I'm doing, to tell him that I'm right. And he goes, Andy, I can't interfere here. I will tell you that I believe what you're saying is right, but my son has to make his own decisions. So we drove 4 hours down, and we got to drive 4 hours back after getting a no from a for sure yes. So I'm like, man, it was like getting kicked right in the teeth. I wanted to cry. I wanted to hug Leon. And the whole time I'm just like, I want to quit right now. I don't want to do another thing. I didn't like this anyway. I'm going to quit for sure. Instead, we're walking out the door, and all I can remember is my stupid one-bedroom apartment that had no matching furniture and no money coming in, and the rent was due. So I was like, well, I have to ask. So I go, so nobody taught me this, but I just, gentle hand of God pushed me along. I said, Keb, who do you know that would be good at this? I was just walking out of his house. And Leon stopped me and goes, that's a good question. I go, who do you know would be good? And he goes, well, the only guy I can think of that's really crazy like you, Andy, is Kaylee's dad. I go, call him. That's his girlfriend. I go, call him right now. So he goes, really? And his dad goes, yeah, give him a referral. That's called a referral, Andy. It's good you asked. And he goes, give him a referral. So he picks up the phone and he goes, hey, Brenda, this is Keb. Yeah, my buddy Andy's down here and he's pitching some kind of pyramid thing. And he wanted to know if you wanted to come under him so he can make money off what you guys do. And she said no, as you would imagine, right? And so I say, no, I'm watching him like this. And he goes, okay, thanks, bye. And he goes, she didn't want to hear about it. I go, of course not, you idiot. Give me the phone. I hit redial. I called him, hey, Miss Brenda, this is Andy, that friend that kept with, yeah, all right. So he said that I'm doing it only because I'm going to make money off you, which is true, but you can make money off your friends too if they do this pyramid thing as well. So there's really an upside to this for you. Would you be, no? Okay, all right, no, all right, thank you, no, I got you. Thank you very much. Okay, sorry about that, hang up, I go, let's go. I go, give me the number, man, just to get, okay, I'm going to call her to be my customer, and I leave. And I worked for a whole week, got some more people in and stuff, and now I needed a promotion. That promotion, I got promoted. It was great. Now I needed new people to go in the next leg. So I'm sitting there after about a week, and I'm like, I got nobody left to call. Not one single friend. When I did my contact list, it had 15 people on it. That's it, 15. And so I was like, I have no influence over anybody. So I found that number. So I call her back, and I go, hey, Miss Brenda, this is Andy. Would you be, hello? She had just hung up. I was like, okay. And something happened. Hello, Miss Brenda, this thing. I don't know what happened. I'll wait a day. Call back again. I get a guy answers, and he goes, who is this? And I said, this is Andy McWilliams. Oh, yeah, you're Kev's friend. Yeah. Hey, what part of hanging up on you don't you understand? Don't ever call my house again. Hangs up. Fine, buddy. That's good for you, right? I go on with my life. About a month and a half goes by. I'm watching Seinfeld. Now, here's the part you guys have to understand. As bad as I wanted it, I had my own group growing. I knew the company was doing well because I'd been to a couple big trainings where I saw a guy, Paul Orbison, making $500,000 a month, getting close to making $1 million a month. I'd been around all these incredible leaders. So I wanted it so bad. I'd stay awake at night praying for it. I would get up in the morning, take a shower, get in my car, drive around the block, and act like I was pulling into work because somebody said that'll help get you in the mindset. So I'd come back out, I'd come walking back in, where I was living with my dad and my wife. I mean, I was an idiot. And I'm walking up, and I would get up, and we made our desk, and we'd have our coffee like we were sitting, because we said, we got to be disciplined here. And so I wanted this so bad, but I get a call on a Thursday night. Now, it's in the middle of Seinfeld, back in the Seinfeld days, and nobody called on Thursday night. It was Seinfeld's friends. Nobody called during those times. Everybody was in the world that meant anything was watching those two shows at that time, and I get a call. My roommate answers the phone, and he goes, yeah, hang on a second, hands it to me. And I'm like, what? Who would be calling during Seinfeld? And I go, hello? And he goes, hi, Andy, this is Brenda. Do you remember me? I go, sure I do. No idea, right? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, I'm Kev's girlfriend's mom. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yes, ma'am. Hang on a second. Oh, God, the Kramer. All right, yeah, what? Yeah, are you still in that phone thing? I said, yes, I am. She goes, how are you doing? I go, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, which I meant it negatively. Later on, I found out she thought I meant it positively, which I was like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, lady. And she goes, well, I want to hear about it. Can you show me? I go, of course I'll show you. I didn't remember where she was or anything. And she goes, great. Between 8 and 8:20 tomorrow morning, I got 20 minutes for you. Can you be at my house? Sure. And I'm taking down the address, and she goes, Clearwater, Florida. Now, I live back in Fort Myers at this time. That's a 2-hour and 15-minute drive. So I'm writing it down. I go, Clearwater. It's tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., like on a Friday. I don't own a car. I don't have any money because it was all running dry. I was like, yeah, I'll be there. I was like, I don't know why I answered like that. I hang up the phone, and my buddy goes, man, you look sick to your stomach. I go, yeah. I go, hey, can I borrow your car tomorrow? And he goes, I got to go to work. I go, I need your car, man. And he goes, yeah, I'll give it to you, buddy, for you if it's going to help your business. I go, and I need gas money. And he goes, all right, man, I'll give you gas money. Because everybody else in our house, my wife and I had moved in with another couple because we couldn't afford a horrible apartment on our own. And so everybody else had jobs, right? And so everybody's telling me every day, get a job. My wife's telling me, get a job. I'm like, gotta live this dream here, right? Because I'd listened to the tapes. I'd heard Marshall Douglas talk about it. I was a believer. So I'm like, no, baby, you're going to be sorry one day if you make me get a job, because our whole life will be different. And, I'm not going to do it. Y'all go sit in traffic. I'm not going and all this stuff. And but every day I would sit there and I watch TV. I watching reruns of Magnum and stuff. I'm like, what am I doing? This is really bad. And I'd be like, I'm working, baby. I'm working. Yeah, click. I'm trying to mute the TV so she wouldn't know I'm watching TV at the time. Sat in this green chair, but now I got my shot, right? So I get up early. I'm bitching the whole time. I don't want to get up early. I don't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and start driving. I don't. Even as hungry as I was, as much as I wanted it, all of a sudden now I got to do it. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I'm driving up. I'm thinking, why am I doing this? Now, this is not the way it's supposed to be. I should have told him no. I get up there. I'm way early at the place. So I drive by the house, and I'm like, why the heck would that house is like $1 million home, man. What am I going to talk to her about? And I walk up in there, and I got this big case, because they gave area coordinators you could buy. They gave it. I thought I got promotion. I got this big case with me, this big flip chart, and I walk in, and there's Brenda introducing me to Tammy Harder. Tammy Harder has 2 little kids with her babies. What I had found out later was Brenda was afraid I would be some kind of psycho and try something on her, so she had this other lady come just sit to listen with her. I sit down, they sit down, I put up my big flip chart right in front of them. There's a playpen right next to me, and the 2-year-old's running around, right, pulling on my leg, crying. I'm like, please, please, please. I don't even know this presentation, and you're bothering me. And so I kept steering the kid away from me. I was like, there you go, play over there, right? To come back, I play over there. Okay, I'm going to start now. And I look down, and she's got a yellow pad of paper like that one right there, and she's got a bunch of questions on it. And I go, before I get started, Brenda, can I ask what that paper is right there? And she goes, I have a list of questions I was going to ask you. Like, what kind of questions? Where's it based? Is it incorporated in Texas? Oh, man. I go, I am so in trouble now. Because I don't know the first answer to any of those questions. I know that. I don't know what's on this flip chart right here because I haven't done this presentation. I always told my idiots friends just to get in. So I'm like, this could not be. I just drove all the way up here for nothing. So I go, well, all right. Well, good. I'm glad you're prepared. And so let me start. And I look at it and I flip it over there and I go, oh boy. I go, look, it's a real big industry and we're in it. And I just go, let's talk about the money. And I flipped to the thing and I said, I got out my little whiteboard, I put it up, took down the thing. She goes, why'd you bring it? I go, don't worry about it. And I drew a smiley face because that's what I had seen the first time I saw it, so I did it. And I said, when you sign somebody up who gets their website and one service, then you can get paid $100. Thanks for having me here. Stop it, kid. I really appreciate you being here. And she goes, wait, say that again? And I go, what part? And she's like that. I go, okay, erased it and drew it again. I said, there you go. You get $100 when you sign somebody up and they turn on their website, get one service. And she goes, She closed up her pad and she goes, one more time? And I go, I know, I didn't get it either the first few times. I go, no problem. Sign somebody up. I said, so if you signed up Tammy, right there. I said, and she got website and one customer, you get $100. And I go, thanks a lot for having me here, ladies. Appreciate you wasting my time. And it was awesome seeing you. And I started packing up. And she goes, my husband could do that. And I was packing up and I remember I went, do what? She's like, he could do that smiley face thing. And I said, you mean draw it or actually do it? And she's like, he could do it. And I go, great, where is he? Let me talk to him. Now I got a spark of life. Now I'm like, woohoo! I go, where is he? Bring him. Hello, come on down, sir. And she goes, okay, I need you to come back Sunday night, 7:30. What part of it, why? I go, well, you're going to sign up? And she goes, nope, come back 7:30 Sunday night. I'm like, why? I said, can I go see him? She goes, he's busy. I was like, please, can I just do something? I can't get back here. I barely have gas to get home. I can't come back Sunday. I started thinking in my mind, all these things, and I go, okay, I'll be here Sunday. I don't even know where it came from. I was like, no. I leave, drive home. I get back home. I'm sitting there all weekend stirring about this, going, I should come up with some reason not to do this. Sunday morning comes around. I'm so upset about all this. I lay everything out, pack it back up, lay it out, pack it back up. I borrow the car, borrow money, drive back up there, and I pull back up into the cul-de-sac where the house is, and there are cars everywhere. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I come walking out my little thing. Right in their driveway was his and her Porsches. Remember, this is a multi-million-dollar home on the 16th green or something of this nice golf course in Clearwater. So I'm scooting between the Porsches going, something's really wrong. And I walk up and I look in and all these people are dressed up super nice. Now I have a golf shirt and slacks on because that was super nice for me. And I'm looking at all these people walking around in there. I'm like, what the heck's that? This huge doors, etched glass, like with like a Everglades scene. I remember honestly, it was such a scarring moment in my life. And I'm looking through the glass like this and everybody, and I look down and notice that there was a pond, a koi pond next to it. And I'm thinking, they have a pond on their front porch. And I look down at the fish and I'm like, fish, you're so lucky. You know when you get really nervous or you're really upset, you're just trying to figure, I go, fish, you're so lucky you're fish. Look at you. All you do is swim around. They come out, feed you. You just live your life. You have no stress, none of this problem. I'm talking to the fish. And through the glass window, somebody had noticed me, and now they must have said, hey, there's a guy at your door talking to your fish, because everybody's looking at me, and I look up, and I look at everybody, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, oh. And over comes this overweight guy, but this ball of energy, and he opens the door like this much, because he's scared of me now by this point. He goes, hey, who are you? And I go, I'm Andy, I'm from Excel, I'm here to help you guys. And he goes, oh, okay, come on in. I'm Rick. And he goes, hey, everybody, take your seat. Here's my buddy Andy. He goes, you won't believe this presentation. This kid's killing it in this business. You're hearing from one of the young stars of this company. Everybody sit down, sit up in the front. Mr. Mayor, sit up front. That's right there. And you too. Yeah, doctor, you and your wife sit right there. That's right. And I'm just frozen by the door like, did he say mayor? I'm like, what? Mayor of what? Mayor of Tampa Bay? What are we talking about here? So I kind of walked through, and then it hit me. This wafting smell coming from the kitchen. They had cooked dinner for everybody, food, finger foods, like all this food. So I'm a broke guy, and I start smelling this food, and I start veering towards the kitchen. I'm like, what the heck is that? I walk in, I look, they're all out there sitting down. I'm like, oh my gosh, is that Havarti cheese? I love Havarti cheese. I start getting stuff. He's like, hey, are you coming out here? And I go, oh, yep, I am right now. I'm coming right back out. I come out and I get my bag and everybody's sitting there and I look and he starts introducing one of the worst things you could have ever done to me. I mean, there were 11 couples there and he's introducing them. He's like, he's the starting defensive end for Tampa Bay Bucks and this guy here's the mayor of Tampa Bay and this guy here's doctor and this one there and the professor over the school. I'm like, no. Where's Tammy? I go, where are the kids? I want somebody else. I go to open my bag, and he goes, set up, let's go, let's get going. I go, right on. And I open my bag, and now there's no flip chart. There's no easel for the flip chart. So I got my flip chart out, and I'm looking for my easel, and I open the green thing, and they're all sitting there looking at me like you all are doing right now, and I go, oh, no, I left it on my bed. And so I close it again, I go, I look again. It's just an empty bag, but I was hoping that the easel fairy would put something in there or something, right? I was like, I'll never forget, when they told me afterwards what I looked like, I was like, they all must have been desperate because it was just one of those nights. So I was like, all right, let me show you how easy this can be because all you're here. Give me that chair right there. Do you mind getting up, ma'am? Thank you very much. Yeah, okay. And I took this chair and put it here and I put the flip chart on it. And I go, I'm just going to show you don't even need an easel. And right as I was getting ready to start, because I was like, man, I got through that. That's awesome. Right as I was getting ready to start, I go, oh my gosh, I don't know what's on the first page of this flip chart. I literally don't know what's on the page. And so I go, oh, okay. So I'm going to go through this part kind of quick. You all sit back and get ready. And I open it up and I go, okay, so big industry. And we're right in the middle of it. Grab 3 or 4 pages, flip to it again. I go, nothing really changes for the customer when you do this. All right, let's talk about the money. And I put that down off to the side. I started drawing little circles down like I was drawing a smiley face, boom, boom. I said, this is you. You pay, back to the $720, whatever. I go, $720? You put somebody in, they get a website, one customer, and they get real happy too, and you make $100. You get that? Great. I'm going to raise it. I'm going to do it again for you. And I do that again. I say $100, and later on it could be more than $100, but I wasn't really for sure of the numbers, so I didn't show them any of those numbers. And I did that. My presentation lasted an hour and 10 minutes. An hour, I know it was horrible. It was unbelievable. In the back, I noticed people started to stir a little bit, so I knew, I was like, I think I'm losing them. And in the back, the guy goes, Andy, bud, yeah, stop. He goes, is that it? Are you going to do that smiley face thing again? I go, yeah, I was just going to do it one more time. And he goes, no, we got it. Everybody have it? Everybody goes, yes, we got it. Okay, great. I go, awesome. I go, that's great. And he comes walking. He goes, wait. He comes walking. As he's walking up, I see this guy's crying. He's got tears coming down his face, literally crying. And I'm like, is that good or bad? I don't know. He's walking around like, is he crying? He walks up and he puts his arm around me and he goes, hey guys, listen, so you don't know this. You're all our family and friends. You're our closest friends. He said, we invited you here to hear about this opportunity because Brenda starts crying. I'm like, oh, this is not good, right? I screwed this up. So they're both crying. They invited their friends to my presentation. He goes, what nobody knows in this room, not even our family, is that we are on Thursday filing bankruptcy. And we've lost the house, we've lost the cars, our kids are having to come out of private school. They built an overpass in front of our 3 furniture stores, and so we've lost it all. And he said, but this kid, God sent this kid into our life to bring this opportunity to us. And he said, so I'm going to win everything that we've lost back from this company. And I'm watching him like this going. And so he goes, so I have one question for you. Who's coming with me? Yells it like that. I go, ah, when you're scared. I go, ah, like this. I think I did like that. I was like, oh my gosh, why is he yelling all of a sudden, right? I literally went down in the fetal position like, oh, stop. It just freaked me out. It scared me to death. Did it scare you a little bit? It scares you, right? That blood flow, all that. I thought I was going to throw up from the adrenaline. I was like, what just happened? And everyone raised their hand like this. And I remember watching going, whoa, what does that mean? 11 hands of different couples? What? 11 people. I was like, that's in my code? I'm getting 11. I started just like ding, 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 ding. I was like, whoa, woo, yeah. I go, nice job, pal. I'm hugging him, right? And all this stuff. I was like, sweet. All I thought about was that one moment, right? That all of a sudden I had 11 times whatever the code was, and I had money to come home with, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I brought the applications. I didn't know if I had brought applications. I look at my bag, there are 20 of them. I go, whoa, sweet, passed them out. People are signing up. I'm eating food. I'm like, this is the greatest night of my life. Literally. I come home, I get home real late because I stayed there. I just wouldn't leave because there was a lot of food and a lot of people, and I was like, this is awesome, man. I come home and I walk in, I wake my wife up, and I'm like, threw all the applications on her as she's sleeping, getting ready for work there. As way there, shake them on her. I go, wake up, baby, look at that. That's money on top of you, right? Look at that. Look at, she waits, what is that? I go, it's 11 applications, honey. 11. I go, 12, would you consider Rick and Brenda? They all signed up, and I told her the story, and she's like, that's great, baby. I got to go to work tomorrow. Goes to work. I go back 3 days later. I walk in, and there are 35 people sitting in this house. 35 people, new people are sitting there, and they all got in. I'm like, oh, this is a dream. I'm like, I can't believe it. All I was ever thinking about was me and my check, right? And I was like, oh, this is awesome. The next week I come back, 155 people, and we're at the Safety Harbor thing, and I go up to do the presentation. I'm like, man, my presentation works great, right? And right before I get to go up there and do it, Rick pulls me aside, and he says, Andy, listen, buddy, I appreciate you bringing this to me. I meant it when I said God brought you into our life, but that presentation is so doggone bad. He said, I don't need you anymore. I was like, and Brenda's there, right? And Brenda goes, she hits him, she goes, would you stop? Rick, be nice. He just brought us this opportunity. And he goes, I can't have him do another one, Brenda. That's the worst damn presentation I've ever seen in my life. So they're arguing over me as I'm sitting there, right? And I go, no. I go, stop, Rick. I get it. I go, I understand. I said, man, good luck. Good luck. I'm happy you got all this happening for you. I'm good. Okay, Brenda. I hug her. Goodbye. I walked, as soon as I hit the door and the door closed, I'm like, woohoo! I don't have to do anything anymore. This is what I've been waiting for. Now he's going to do it all. It's sweet. I drove home, I'm like, I'm retired. I am done. I am out of this business. Finally, it was July 17th, 1994. You remember that day? Because that guy went on, Rick and Brenda Ricketts, they've known in the industry for years. They've been all over the place, right? Top of everything they've ever done. Recruited more people than anybody, I think, in this industry in the last 15 years, or however long it's been, 17, 18 years. I walked out of that house on July 17, 1994, and I was going to make millions of dollars from Excel, whether I did anything or not from that point forward. Think about it. On that day. Now, when I walked out that day, I was just thinking, great, I don't have to do any more presentations. I had no idea it was going to change my life forever. That day seemed like it was a good day, but it wasn't life-changing. Not like all of a sudden this big bright light came on and said, you are done working for yourself, I just walked out, got in my car, drove home. I was like, sweet, I don't have to worry about them. I'll go do a training a couple times a month up there or something. If they wanted me to, I'll go up and do whatever they want. So I fell into a routine of driving up there. Rick would make fun of me in front of all the people, and then he'd close them, right? Because this idiot can do it. Look at this presentation he gave us. And I'd be like, and I'm sitting there like, yes, sir. I can't even hardly talk. Good to see you. Bye-bye. I'd run back down to Fort Myers and golf. I was like, this is awesome. And then things changed. We rocked through 94, 95, 96. I remember telling Amy, at this rate, we will make $20 million a month residually, the way it's growing. And then in 1996, the owners lost power. They lost control. And all of a sudden, our life started changing. Then all of a sudden, I was like, boy, I better learn how to do this because now it's getting tough and they need me. So I learned how to do presentations, trainings. I educated myself. I got around the best. I was already around the best recruiters, so I saw that from the inside out. Now I'm around the best trainers. Now I'm getting to know the vice presidents and the presidents, the CEO, I was knowing everybody because I wanted to get good so I could control my destiny, help the company. But the company was going down, and no single rep can change that. You can't. So I'm working harder, investing more, doing everything possible to make less every single month. And I'm like, this is not fun anymore. I don't like this part of it. And I did that and kept doing it. And I was fighting. I was sincerely fighting. I didn't look at any other companies. If people left, even if it cost me money, I'd turn them in if they were doing something wrong. I was sold out to that company. But it would fundamentally change who it was. And so all of a sudden, the company's dying, and I'm dying right along with it. Couldn't stop it. In 2004, I'm talking to the vice president of operations, vice president of sales. Both of them are calling me on a weekly basis, saying, I'm not talking to anybody else. Don't tell anybody I'm talking to you. So they didn't know each of them were talking to me. And they're both telling me how bad Excel's doing and how it's going to go under, how it can't stay open. So finally I said, I got to get out of here. So I went to a couple of guys that were better than me, and I said, okay, let's go. We orchestrated a group to go over to ACN. And I walk into ACN first day, they give me a deal. That deal was unbelievable, a ton of money to just show up because they said, if you do this right, this is what will happen. No production, all this money, 6 figures a month. I was like, wow. And then I learned real network marketing. Those co-founders over there and the system they had in the event-to-event business, I was like, this is amazing. I was like, all of a sudden, it was like somebody's turning on the lights on all the things that you needed to know in network marketing. Because at Excel, we were just good timing, right idea. But then when we needed to, we hadn't developed the skills. So I go over to ACN, who've been slugging it out, trying to compete with us, and now they're winning. The problem was that it was like Novocaine, man. I had been numb to the comp plan. So the first 2 years, my deal was there, and I was like, happy, happy, happy. And all of a sudden, I'm noticing nobody's sticking around when they come in the business because to me, it's a tough comp plan. So I was like, wait, something's wrong. So I went to the co-founder. I said, you guys got to know that something's wrong here. And they go, oh, not wrong, just the way it is. And I go, well, no, it's got to be wrong. There's a breakage of 50+% every month. Oh, that's just the way it is. I go, it can't be the way it is. People can't come in and not be told the truth. What are we telling them? So I started telling them the truth, and I got a call, and they said, stop doing that. Stop doing it. You can't tell them that. You can't say that. And I was like, what else am I going to talk about? And they go, if you don't like it, then leave. And so I did. And at that time, I thought it was the right move. I was crazy. Like most arrogant network marketers, I said, I'm going to go start my own. I saw those co-founders, how they had started ACNs. I'm going to go do my own. So I went and started my own in 2007. Had saved up some money, had a bunch of what I thought was a bunch of money. Bought 2 pieces of commercial property in Florida in 2007. Good timing, you think? No. And started a high-end concierge service in 2007. Good timing? No. So both of those crashed within 7 months. I have lost everything I'd built through my whole career. I mean, I'd gone around like a rock star, speaking to different countries, people taking pictures, autographs, and here I am, can't pay for food for my family. Forget helping somebody else. I couldn't do anything for myself. So I was like, I had to mourn almost. I was like, what do I do now? I did what most broke networkers do. I started consulting. And I started consulting for other companies, and companies were paying me because when I left at 04 to go to ACN, that one of the vice president of sales was Chris Domhoff, went and started a company called Ignite in Texas. So now it's end of 2000, I started consulting because Chris got me deals, Stevanovsky from ACN got me contracts to go do, so I was barely making it really. The November of 09, Chris calls me and says, let's go to lunch. Yes, I would love to go to lunch because I've been meaning to call you to borrow money from you is what I wanted to say to him. Great, are you in town? Because he lives in Dallas, I live in Fort Myers. Great, are you in town? Because that's what I figure, because he knows I'm on hard times. And he goes, no, meet me tomorrow in Atlanta at noon for lunch. Okay, I'll see you there, hang up. I'm like, what? Who does that, right? Who calls up their friend and says that? Well, it was the only friend I knew that had a $800 million company, and I knew he had money. So I was like, baby, I need to go up there and borrow some money from Chris, so I'm gonna go drive up there and see him for lunch. So I couldn't fly, so this is the day before, so I drove all night all the way up there. I'm thinking of all the different angles I can try to get something out of him so I can just pay the light bill, do something, right? Or maybe give me some job, maybe I go to work for him. Maybe I can figure out something. I'm the whole way up like I had hope about this. And I come in, I sit down, he's got a piece of paper, and he says, sit down, I need you to say yes to something. I go, what is that? And he goes, I'm gonna start a new company. And because I had just been through this and I lost everything, I'm like, you're an idiot. No way, no, I won't do that. No is the answer. You need to go get on a plane, get back to Dallas, and be happy you have Ignite, and just love it, and just stay there. And he goes, sit down, McWilliams. He goes, I gotta explain something to you. And he explained to me Just Energy. He said, give me 20 minutes. 22 minutes later, I said yes. Now, I was saying yes, knowing for me it was the best thing ever. For him, I still wasn't sold out, it was the best thing. I was like, you're crazy for doing this. And he said, don't worry, because my non-compete, we're just gonna start in Ontario. And I'm like, Ontario what? Ontario, Florida, I hope you mean? He goes, no, Ontario, Canada. And I go, good. And he goes, do you want to start as a VP of sales or marketing, or do you just want to be a rep? What do you want? And I said, not only do I want to be a rep, I want to be the first rep. And I want to override this company. So if I can build it, I know, because I knew the number one guy at Ignite was making a killing. I knew the comp plan worked. I said, we just got to change a couple things. So we did that. I fulfilled one of my deals, my contracts. And on April 17th, 2010, I sat in a room in Ontario where I had nothing to do with putting them in there, I'll tell you, I'll be honest about it. Chris had run some ads and stuff, and there are 71 people in this room. They had expected 500. There's 71 people sitting in there. At the end of this presentation, they go, hey, everybody, you're free because you can get in, and 40 people left, 31 people signed up for free. Those 31 people, I went back to work. Over the weekend, I started calling because I flew home that day, went back Tuesday morning, first thing, start calling, say, hey, this is Andy from Momentus, I want to do it. And 9 people answered my call, 3 actually set up meetings. From that day is when we built Momentus. So all of this kind of came to fruition, all these years of experience. The first check I got was $50, $50. Imagine I'm flying, already broke, flying between Fort Myers to Toronto, staying in hotels, eating out, coming back, and my wife sees me, all I'm home is one day and I'm gone again, because I was doing 6 days back then, gone, right? Come home, I was tired during the day, I wouldn't even do anything, and the first check is $50. You imagine how my wife felt. The next check, $75. I remember chasing her into the bedroom while she's crying, going, it's a 50% increase. What do you expect? $125 next check. $500 over my first, or just under $600 over my first 5 weeks. That's what I made. Master network marketer, the best of the industry, all this garbage that people were saying about. I was like, I was dying. Matter of fact, I remember doing a meeting, I don't even know why I tell people this story. I was doing a meeting, and it was one of our first meetings. And so Mike Adams, our senior vice president, was in charge of the growth in Ontario. That was a field director or something. That's all he was, a measly little field director. And tell him I said that. And so he was in an office, and I was in an office. We were on the 16th floor of the Nest City building. If you haven't been to our Toronto office, it is awesome. Beautiful windows, seeing is incredible, right? Because Just Energy just said, here, take this office. I mean, it's beautiful, right? So I'm sitting in there like I'm a CEO or something of this monster company, but in actuality, I'm just a broke, probably more broke than anybody coming in to sit and meet with me, right? And so in walks this meeting. It's my 12 o'clock, and Mike's like, I gotta get lunch, and I go, I'm gonna do this meeting, man, because I'm hungry. I'm gonna go make this happen. You go to lunch, I'll build the business. Go and get out of here. In walks this 80-plus-year-old lady, sits down across the desk from me, and I start in, and 5 minutes in, she tells me it's a pyramid. 5 minutes in, she starts beating me up about it. And I'm like, lady, listen, it's just us in this big office. I go, lady, please, I want to be respectful here. I'm going to tell you, but I've got nothing else. This is how I'm doing for my family, because I felt like I was fighting for my family. I was fighting for my 4 beautiful kids, my high school sweetheart. I'm like, I'm fighting for us. And now I got this little lady telling me that it's not going to work. And she's trying to help me, right? She's trying to say, you just need to get a regular job, son. You need to do that. And I'm like, lady, stop that, because I'm very passionate about this. I'm telling you, listen, please don't say that. It's illegal. It's not okay. Just Energy's got stuff on the internet. Oh, boy, all right. You know what, lady? Finally, I go, bam, and I go, get out. 80-plus years. Today, I'm a little embarrassed to tell you, but I'm going to tell you because I'm going to keep it real. I go, get out. I said, I don't want you in here. You have a negative attitude, nothing's going to keep me from where I'm going. So she was scared because I'd hit the table, right? So she backs out, and she's telling me the whole time, I'm going to be right. I'm going to prove me right. She's backing out. I'm like, man, who is this lady dressed up trying to stop me from doing this, right? She walks out, and I yell, next! And I go and I sit down. I go, next! Next! Mike comes walking around. He's like, what the heck are you saying, man? I go, is there anybody else? And he goes, no. And I go, doggone it. I go, all right. He goes, what happened in there? Why did that lady leave? And I go, nothing's going to stop me. I don't care what anybody says. This is my chance, and I'm not going to stop. And so every day, I'm not kidding. If I did a presentation with you, I'm not going to scare you, but I would do a presentation. I'd be looking you right in the eyes. And I'd be telling you, I said, look, man, I'm talking about Momentus, but I'm talking about me. And I'm talking about what I'm going to do. And if you want to make anything with your life financially, you're going to come with me on this. I don't care what the details are. I don't care what anybody tells you. You're going to come with me because I'm going to make it happen regardless of if you do or not. But I want you with me. Can you come along with me? Just bring somebody. Put them in front of me. I won't stop until we get it done. I'll work day and night. I'll keep coming up here. I'll eat 1 day a week like I was when I was working there. I'll stay away from my family who I love more than anybody else. I will do whatever it takes. We did presentations, big room presentations. There'd be 4 or 5 people, and the leaders would be griping about how, oh, there's nobody here, nobody here. I'm like, get out of my way. I'll do the whole thing myself. And I would do it. There'd be 3 people. I'd be like, right? Is that right, sir? And they're like, oh, gosh, okay, yes. I will get in. Stop yelling at me. I will just stop. We had more of the banner things. We don't have any banners here. We had more banners in our meetings than we had guests. I remember telling them once, I go, everybody grab a banner on your way out. You're welcome to have a banner. And we started working at this business. And I wasn't making friends. I never talked about rates. Nobody in this room or anywhere else has ever heard me talk rates. If you can't figure it out, it's not about rates. It's not. I don't care what the kilowatt is. I don't care what that is. We're talking about a few people you need to help you so you can break free of where you're at financially. If you can't do that, then we need to start over anyway at how we build relationships. I had a lady tell me just probably a month and a half ago now, and life is going so fast right now. She said, I can't get customers unless we save them money. And I said, then you're not going to make it in Momentus. I remember 4 or 5 people sitting around and go, oh, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. I was like, it's the truth. I mean, we're not talking about somebody having to double their internet. We're talking about somebody, forget it. We're talking about people doing it because they understand you. We're talking about the people you'd go to if you break down in the middle of the night and you need to pick you up. We're talking about the people you'd go to borrow money from if you're broke and need to feed your family. We're talking about those kind of favors. If you do it right at that level, that's what I learned with Aunt Sally. She needed to hear why I was doing it. She needed to hear my voice said this was no option. She needed to help me and my family. And always asked me to do the same thing she's already done always. So when I did that, now you're going to run into this. Your contact list is going to have certain people. It's going to have certain people you think are going to do it that aren't going to do it. They're not. Matter of fact, the people you think are going to be the best probably will never do the business. But they can lead you to somebody. But the point is, if you just do it once, and if you're just worried about insulting people, or you're worried about making friends with everybody, it's not going to work. I'm telling you, you've got to stand up and fight for this. It is worth it. We have people that started just like you, started that were struggling, hurting, didn't know what to do, didn't have any friends left to talk about network marketing. I've been in other deals where it didn't work, or people that just started, and we have examples of success for every one of them in our company. We have people that have made over $1 million in their first year. Is that good? Let me tell you, I didn't. My first year, I think I netted like 40 grand in Momentus. My first year, first 12 months. Because it was expensive for me to fly back and forth and all this stuff. And honestly, Chris saved my life in Momentus. He ended up helping me out with some money on a weekly basis so I could even have expense money to do, or I couldn't even done it. Not enough to live on. Enough just to do that, but we were beyond that. We lost our cars. In the middle of Momentus, we lost our cars. They got repossessed as I was going to the airport on a Tuesday morning. I walk out and my car's gone, my Cadillac. And I'll never forget, I thought it was stolen because I was so hyped up in this Momentus thing. I'm like, oh, positive. The world's going to bend to my will. I'm going to make it happen. I walk out, I'm like, where's my car? My car got stolen. I go back in. I'm like telling Amy, wake up, baby, the car's gone. She's like, what? The car's gone. My dad happened to be standing. He's like, what happened? I go, it got stolen. Knock, knock, knock. It's my next door neighbor. He's the sheriff, Matt Powell. And he goes, hey, Andy, what's up? And I go, I'm so glad you're here, man. My car got stolen last night. I don't know when it was. And he goes, I know. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was a GMAC truck pulled up and pulled it out of here. I go, GMAC? Why would they steal my car? I had to get on a plane that day and go up and talk about Momentus. I was up doing a meeting for like 60 people on that Tuesday night thinking, holy mackerel, my car's gone. I lost my house in the middle of Momentus. It wasn't even 2 years ago. I lost my house. We literally moved out of that house because we had to, because the bank said, get out, you got to get out now. And then we were in between homes for 3 weeks. You know what that means? You don't have a home. I was in with my mother-in-law, who I love to death, but not that much, in her 1,100 square foot place with my 4 kids and my wife, who we had lived on the water for 7 years, almost 8 years, with our boat in the backyard, thousands of, I was the one everybody went to for money. And now I'm living in her 2-bedroom place. My kids are going, Dad, why are we here again? I go, because I want you to bond with your grandmother. 3 weeks of that, 3 weeks of having to come home from being gone. As I'm standing up in front of people, training them on Momentus, I'm thinking to myself, my wife and kids are at my mother-in-law's. And I'm going to have to talk about your dream, talking about building it. But I didn't have anything else. I wouldn't even let myself think I couldn't make it work. And so when I go along and somebody come along and go, man, I couldn't get that customer because it was 1 penny more a kilo, I want to slap them upside their head and tell them to get away from me. These are our good reps. No joke. I say, are you kidding? I'm not even seeing my wife and kids. I'm the kind of dad that wants to be at everything. I don't want to miss something. I miss them every single day. I'll start crying if I talk about it. I want to be with them right now. I love you guys, but I'd rather be with them. My wife calls me as I'm standing in the back, tells me, baby, just get home. We're so excited about seeing you. Every time she'd tell me, I'd go, steel yourself. Now, even now, it's not easy. I don't want to be gone. You don't want to be gone. You don't want to sacrifice, but there's no other way. The question is it worth it? That's the question. Is it worth it? And it's only worth it if you see the job through. I did those presentations, and I did them the best I could. I wasn't good, for goodness sake. I was bad. But you know what happened? I was so passionate about it, and everyone talked about this for years. And Brenda and Rick, Brenda would say it. I'm sure Rick never would, because Rick's that way. But Brenda and Rick will tell you that the one thing everybody felt was my passion, that I wasn't going to keep staying where I was, and I was going to make it work, and at least I delivered the message. And I wasn't trying to be something I wasn't. I just said, here I am, here's what I'm doing. And so I would do it. And then somebody better came in. They saw right by me, saw the opportunity, took off, and I benefited from that. I benefited from the timing of a company. I am the example of that. I lived that. And then when the timing went bad, which comes to every company, is everybody listening to me now? Yes. It will not always stay this way in Momentus. We'll have to reinvent ourselves at some point. We have to. Every company does. Momentus is not going to be exempt from it. It's just what sits right in front of you right now is that beautiful, glorious ride to exponential growth. It's that incredible critical mass that happens to a company where people that don't even know where the company's located can make big money. They don't know anything about it. They just get swept up in that momentum. And you can ride it beautifully and change your whole life forever. Because the one we're doing here is not just some 30 to 150. We're already at $250+ million, and we haven't even hit critical mass yet. Imagine what happens over the next year when I think we'll hit critical mass, and we go from 300, 325, 350, somewhere in there I think we'll hit it, to $3 billion. As we open up 50 markets over the next 60 months. 50 markets over the next 6. No, that's okay. Hey, if you're not going to get paid anything, you don't have to clap. Seriously. What happens? The company's going to do it. I'm not going back. So I'm telling you, I'm going to find the people that want to build it. I will keep working. If I have to recruit everybody, I will. I'm telling you that straight up. But if you don't benefit from it, who cares what happens to Momentus? This is not something where you sell out just to the company, even though you have to respect it and covet it and say, okay, I'm going to protect it when you're building it. But it's not what I want you to sell out to. I want you to sell it to you. I want you to sell it to why you're here. I want you to sell out to what you're trying to change in your life. If you sell out to that, nothing can stop you. Momentus will just be your vehicle that you choose to get there. And that's our job to make sure it's the best vehicle. But it's your job to make sure you're driving it fast. It's your job to make sure that you're sacrificing what you need to and where you're going. Please don't, I told you, I insult people all the time. If you're trying to make an extra part-time income, that's great. That's great. That's another training. That's not me. I'm talking to people that say, I want to do radically different things financially for the rest of my life. I want to have the life that people design their life. They dream their life and then they make it happen. That's who I'm talking to. Everybody else, that's great. But one or two people, the right man, the right woman, can do that, can change their life and use this vehicle, it'll change the whole company. We've had that in this last year. We've had some great growth. We've had some great leaders. But I truly believe we've seen nothing yet, just the beginning. You know, we haven't even started to bundle yet. We haven't even started to take the things and put them together so that it actually works better. Like this is what we've been designing. This is what we've been working towards so that you can take, not just and get a yes from something for, oh, Aunt Sally says yes to you, and you say one thing for her. Now you have a bundle package that can have 3 or 4 or 5 things. As a matter of fact, we're looking at bundles that over the next year that we'll introduce that might have 20 points in the bundle. It gets better than that. We have it to where you come in, you get one customer of that bundle, and you might get a $2,000 bonus or a $1,500 or $2,500 bonus for that one bundle. Somebody comes in, gets somebody to say yes to that bundle, and it's things that people use all the time anyway. We're not talking about anything new, except for we do have some exciting announcements coming in a couple weeks where nobody else is doing some of the stuff we're going to do. But my point is this, it still comes down to you deciding you're going to do it. Now, we have examples of that success across the board. There are so many people now that have shown people you can make money. They blazed the trail to do it. One of them's here with us today. I'm going to have him come up and say something to you because I think you got to develop your techniques on recruiting, on the way you approach this business. So we have a TPC member here today, which is our Top Performers Council, which literally last year when I took over the business, there was a group of people that we bonded, people that bought into it. And I remember sitting with Kenny Tratner, who's in the back. I remember sitting with Kenny one time driving, and I was thinking to myself, I just need people like this to help me. Just if they would help me so that I could get the message out, and if we could do this. And then quickly I realized I better just go to work supporting people like this. I better just buy into what they're saying and what they're doing. And it became that synergy that you look for. But they have techniques, and they've already done it, and they made a lot of money. And this guy's super successful in everything he's done.